Hey, I just got an idea. So, here we are, sauteing our spinach with the onion and the zucchini. And you can start to see how the spinach is kind of wilting a bit in the heat. And you don't really have to play with it this much, so I could probably just let it go.
Okay, should we pause?
So the next thing I'm going to do while I let the vegetables go ahead and saute for a while, I'm going to start putting together the sauce that goes with this dish. Now this is an Asian-inspired tofu scramble. So it's going to have a couple of Asian flavorings in it. We've got some tamari, some miso paste, and we're going to add water as well. So I'm going to start off with about 4 teaspoons of tamari. And I'm just starting with this, because I may decide in the end that I want more flavor than what this will give me, but I don't need a whole lot of sauce. So I'm going to start with the 4 teaspoons of tamari. And I'm going to rinse my spoon off, because I want 2 teaspoons of the miso paste. The miso paste comes in a lot of different colors. There's brown, there's red, there's white. And I'm sure that there's probably some kind of reasoning for which one's better than any of the others for what purpose. But I've been using the white miso paste, and no, it's not white because it actually looks white. It has to do with the ingredients in it. And it's worked pretty much for everything I wanted to put it in. So it's a great ingredient. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of water to this. Like so. And then we're just going to whisk this together for a minute. Actually, I'll use a fork on this instead of a whisk. We'll just whisk the sauce together. I'm going to get the paste kind of dissolved into the soy sauce and the water. Tamari is just a kind of soy sauce. It's organic and doesn't have any gluten in it. Typically, it's wheat-free, which makes it a great alternative for people with gluten allergies. So this is a great tofu scramble if you have a gluten allergy. Not to use with the lavash that we're using today, obviously, but there are other gluten-free wraps you can use, and certainly brown rice or rice noodles are a great alternative to that. I'm just going to mix my vegetables up here, and again, you can see that the spinach is wilting quite nicely in there. Now that I have the sauce done, I'm going to put that to the side, and I'm going to take the tofu. I'm going to take it out of its towel. And we have drained a nice amount of the moisture out of it. It's pretty easy to work with at this point. It's not dripping or draining. And I'm just going to crumble this in. Nice thing about a tofu scramble. You don't have to be neat, and you can play with your food. Go ahead and break up the tofu right into the dish, or into the saucepan. There we go. And we will push that all around. Now, one of the nice things about this stage is when we look to see, we can look and see if we added enough turmeric, and we can tell because the tofu will start to turn yellow. With the reaction it has, the turmeric actually just makes things turn yellow because of its coloring. And I think I'm going to add just a little bit more turmeric. I like mine a little bit more yellow than that. And again, like I said, the turmeric is not going to add a whole lot of flavor overall. It's more for the coloring. And again, as you see, that big, massive spinach we had in the pan when we started out, it's really wilted nicely. And it's a really good mix of vegetables in there with the tofu. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and add our sauce, and then we're going to let that cook down for just a little bit. It's not going to add a lot of sauce, but we're just going to let it cook together for a little bit, kind of get some brown onto the tofu if we can, you know, a little bit of texture to the tofu. And then we'll be ready to taste it. Because when you're cooking, you always want to taste as you go along, just to make sure you've got your seasonings right. It gives, the sauce is not only flavorful, but it gives a really lovely color to everything too. It's a very colorful dish. Got the purple of the red onion, got that dark green from the spinach and the skin of the zucchini. And it smells really good. So we're going to let this cook down for just a little bit, and then we'll taste it, and in just a bit I will show you how we're going to wrap it up in the lavash to turn this into a tofu scramble wrap.